So I'm here in my office and I haven't had a lot of analog adventure videos for you guys lately, and this is why. This is my current stash of undeveloped film. I got 4 rolls here I need to develop, I think plus 2 in the cameras. But unfortunately, I have some other things that are demanding my attention. Right before the pandemic, we got kind of like super duper prepped up, you know? Like, because we saw it coming, so we have a tiny house. You're seeing most of it right now. We filled all of our space with preps, because everybody was buying the stores out of everything. And then we kind of maintained that status until right before the election, and we freaked out and we were like, you know, we need some more stuff. Like, things are gonna get weird. And so what I did was I took all my old 35mm color negatives out of storage, and they've been sitting on the floor of my office since November. It's March. So I am scanning them, and by scanning I mean I'm photographing them with a macro lens. I'm not set up to digitize 35mm, so I've done a very quick I made a very quick mask out of my old business cards, and we're just shooting with a strobe, sitting on a cigar box, pointed up at my Sony A7, and that's how I'm digitizing these negatives. So, not exactly the most professional operation you've ever seen, but these are personal photos that I shot when I was like 15. Like, these go back to the early 90s. So it's not, they're not client photos or anything like that. And it's all crappy 35mm film. And when I'm done with the digitization, I'm gonna destroy them. That, of course, is like sacrilege for photographers, and I'm already getting people like sending me messages saying don't do it, just because I posted something about it on Instagram. I got no space. I got no space. These are never going to be printed. I just can't bring myself to throw them away as is. So that's what I'm doing. But let me show you. I decided that I wouldn't make any new negatives. I wouldn't develop my film until I had all these scanned. So these done been scanned. These ain't done been scanned. I got a ways to go. So that's why this video is not going to contain any like serious hardcore photography related stuff. And I have been out shooting, obviously, I just haven't developed the film yet, so I don't want to like show you a bunch of like, you know what I'm saying. But there's some fishing content, and I think I'm going out with Brad tomorrow to do some more fishing early in the morning. So maybe we'll finish up with that in this sort of random misadventure video. More fishing, less photography, but we're gonna change that soon. I got some ideas. Anyway, thanks for watching. Howdy. Just out here returning to the scene of the crime. So, as you know, if you follow my channel, I was here a couple of weeks ago, and at the very end of the day I found an interesting tree, but the light was real low. I did get a shot and it was okay. But if you followed me for any length of time, you know that I like to say that in photography, as in the rest of life, anything worth shooting is worth shooting twice. So last time we climbed up that way. This time we're going this way. I was not anticipating the snow. There is no snow left in town, of course. So we'll see what that does for the shot. You either want no snow or tons of snow. It's the in-between that causes problems, you know, where it's like, it's not enough to look pretty, but it's still like super white highlights that are not in the center of the image. Well, we'll just work with what we got. Gonna be taking this shot with my Holga 120N plastic toy camera. Last time I shot it with the Netar and it looked like this. And the Holga, of course, has a completely different sort of look to it. Let's see if we can get a nice clean, yeah, it's gonna look just like that. Well, that's done. Now we can fish. All right, our first flies of the day are going to be a rather defeated looking Tenkara Adams and a tiny black woolly bugger. I always underestimate my perceived temperature. I'm always like, I know there's freaking snow all over the place. I'm way up here in the hills. I'm gonna be freezing all day. And then I hike like 20 feet and I'm super overheated. Though I do have a feeling that in a few seconds that's going to come crashing down. It's fine. Boom! All right. A little bit luckier than I thought I might be. Let's take your picture, number one. Look at you. What a gorgeous fish. All right. See you later. You always want to compliment your fish's appearance after you catch them. It gives them that little bit of ego boost, and they go off with they get the little extra pep in their swim, in their whatever. All right, number two is a damn monster for these waters. Check it out. He's probably like 10 inches long. Old-timey photos. So I'm out here with my friend Julia, who thinks that I take old-timey photos. And here we are.
Are you gonna stitch these together?
I don't know. That's a lot of work. But I really wish this stick wasn't here. Why don't you get in there and like move that?
Oh, you want the stick there?
No, you'll be fine. Just jump
Oh,
in.
no, it's connected to that tree.
It's okay.
It's a whole
Just
tree.
pull hard.
I thought it was
It'll be fine.
I feel like I'm on an island in a tree. Oh god, you're gonna snap back and then like punch me in the face, and then I end up with like a black eye. I don't know.
Do it for the art, Jules.
No.
So, not to make the pandemic all about me or anything, but it's a Tuesday afternoon in February and I'm having to fight other fishermen for spots on this river. Ready for this thing to be over. I'm also in a bit of a pickle in that I have too many flies because I tied so many at the beginning of the pandemic. I'm still fishing them. And so that means I have to go lose a lot of flies before I can justify buying new fly tying stuff. So that's our goal today. We're gonna fill these trees with flies. You know, every year this bridge gets a little more sketchy. All right, so like 3 hours in, we caught this little guy, little wild rainbow. All right, buddy, back under your rock. There you go. Well, that's good, because I was starting to catch whiffs of a skunk there. I'm gonna switch spots and switched hats. Now I'm a whole new man. We probably got an hour and a half of daylight. There might be a fish or two left in there. Now I remember this scene from last year. And I don't know if it's worth shooting yet, but when the sun gets lower, maybe we'll come back. That's a large frog. Well, I fell in the swamp. It's February. I might be in shock. I don't think I'm in shock. I think I just smell really bad. Okay, well, at least we get to test whether or not my dry bags work. I'm still gonna get this shot because I'm a badass. Yeah. All right, well, I've survived worse, right? I have a change of clothes, but I think I'm just gonna turn the heater on and haul ass because I smell like a swamp. I don't want to put on my change of clothes because then I have to wash it. Okay, well, that was unpleasant, and we're never going to speak of it again. Today we are returning to the scene of the lost waterfall, but I'm not going to try to find the waterfall again today. I'm just going to fish. I'm going to fish that creek where I didn't catch any fish. And I'm going to fish it all the way back to the river where I normally don't catch any fish. So the big plan for today is to find new waters where I will fail to catch fish. 2 days ago I went on a hike with Brad and we hiked 1 mile. But in that 1 mile we gained 1,085 feet of elevation. And so I came home that night and I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna play some Minecraft for a while. Like, I'm just gonna take some time off. I'm beat. And then it's just gorgeous out today. It's gorgeous. And so I'm gonna go climb up another mountain, hurt myself all day. So the plan is to hike in on known trail, and we'll be hiking out on known trail. But between those two, we're gonna be fishing for specks in the middle of nowhere in a tiny little creek. I looked at the topo map. There shouldn't be any real steep sections, no waterfalls or anything like that. So I'm hoping it's going to be a fairly smooth shot from one trail to another. But I did send my wife a map and told her where to send the search and rescue folks. So it's always that. This is what goes through my mind when I'm preparing for an outing. Okay, just hear me out. All right, I'm at a nice little resting area in this switchback here, and I was thinking about this scene as something to photograph. Let's see, I could have brought my Holga, but I metered the light and we're already out of Holga light. So that means I would either have to push the film to 1600 or use a different camera, which I did bring with me. But now that I think about it, it's not worth getting out of my pack to take this shot. It'd be the Netar, and to shoot the Netar handheld, I would have to use, well, I'd have to push my film to 1600. So with a pinhole, the exposure would be like, 4 minutes or something. So in any event, I need a tripod. So if I'm gonna bring a tripod, then why not just bring everything? All right, well, this is where we leave the trail. Well, I will confess that I'm not 100% about where I am or what I'm doing. But if I've learned anything from watching outdoor channels on YouTube, it's that nothing bad can happen if you don't foreshadow it. So I'm just not gonna say anything. I mean, you guys would already know if I got lost, right? Because you would have seen the thumbnail, and I would definitely want the clicks from saying I got lost in the woods. All right, we found the creek. And I really hope it leads us out, because I'm sure as hell not climbing back up that mountain. I'll take it. All right, you see that branch in the water right there? That is where I came down from the mountain. And I've only gone this far before I stopped to take a picture. Well, it's been 2.5 hours, and I got one bite. But I did find this. This is pretty nice. No fish, but I have made another discovery, which is that I have a giant hole in my waders. I don't know if it's from falling into the swamp or washing my waders after I fell into the swamp, probably more likely. But I can confirm that this mountain stream is cold in February. Nice. Boom! Finally got one. Okay, little guy. You're loose. See you later, buddy. All right, I hope you've enjoyed this random misadventure. I've got a not so random misadventure coming up next. Thank you so much for watching. Keep the ends out for the ties that bind.